Hey guys, this is Gaijin Hunter. We just got done with an amazing stream from Capcom where they went over the spring update and some of the cool new events that they have over the next month. The spring update, I'll just cut to the chase, is going to be March 22nd, Wednesday. This is when they're going to release the Deviljho, which is so cool, and we get to see the live hunt that they did. I'll show some of my favorite recaps in this video at the end. They're also adding in a bunch of game balancing as well, which we'll cover in this video. So yeah, let's just jump in. I'm going to have the link in the description down below. Even if you don't know Japanese, watch the gameplay that they had. I thought it was an amazing stream. Now before we jump into the spring update, let's go over to 3 different events that they talked about. First one is a large-scale gathering hall event from April 6th through April 20th. This is the Astera Spring Blossom Festival. There's a lot of cool stuff which we'll go over in a second. At the same time, they're going to be releasing the weapon design contest, a greatsword that you can get. And also from April 13th until an undisclosed time, they'll have the Mega Man collaboration event. During the Spring Blossom event, you get this really nice sort of revisual of the Gathering Hall. I really love what they did here. And in case you guys didn't know, this is the season in which cherry blossoms bloom in Japan. So this is kind of the theme that you see going on here. So a nice Poogie and the cat dancing on top. Lots of cool things are happening during this event. One, both the area is going to be redesigned and all the NPCs, including even the handler, are going to have new outfits. Apparently you can change back the handler's outfit if you don't like it, but it's pretty cute. They're going to have every single event that they did, all the event quests. So if you missed any of them, they're all going to be available during this period. So this is a chance to really get in there and do the quest if you either wanted to grind a few more, like the one that increases your HR, or you missed a few, like this is the good period to do it. They're also going to be giving double login bonuses, which is a nice touch, and there is a few other perks, which I don't think they've talked about yet, but it says that they have some other cool events planned. One of the highlights has to be the new gestures that they're going to be selling. Again, these are all just cosmetic, but they added a bunch of new dances and funny, goofy stuff that you can do. So these are things which I think is fine. If they want to sell these and you want to stand out, I think these are hilarious. And they obviously put enough effort into doing motion capture to do some of these. So lots of dancing, lots of celebrating. They were showing off a bunch of them. I don't have all of them right here, so watch the video if you want to see them all, but they're all pretty cool. One of my favorites, though, has to be the endurance test. It's a fake chair, and it's random of when your hunter's going to give out and fall on their butt. So you can do it against other people to see how long you last. This is the Monster Hunter I know and love, the goofy stuff. They also showed off the cool weapon design contest. This is a great sword. The reason why they chose this, they said, was because it felt like a design that normally Monster Hunter doesn't explore. It's got kind of like a, futuristic feel. It's got these little engines on the top which glow when you charge your greatsword. And I gotta admit, like, this is a fabulously looking weapon, especially compared to the in-game designs that the actual team did. So very happy that they chose this one. Congrats to the winner of the design contest. It was a global thing. And looking at that white sharpness, it tells me that they're actually making it a good weapon, which is rare, as usually these types of weapon design stuff or the collaboration weapons are not that good. So I'm very happy to see that this is going to be an endgame weapon that people are going to be wanting to use. Now what you're seeing right here is the Mega Man quest. It's against 2 Aldogoron. One is very small, another one is normal size. This is the quest that's going to be available mid-April, and when you clear it, you'll be able to make that collaboration gear for your feline, which is the Mega Man gear. I'm going to include this scene because I thought it was really funny. But the weapon is just normally craftable, and then the outfit is like a one-piece thing, so you can't mix the top and the bottom. But it is really funny seeing such a serious, realistic scene with them crafting and then have this 8-bit thing come out. I admit, I'm not a big fan of the 8-bit design for Mega Man, but seeing it in the game and running around here, I actually thought that it was pretty cute. So, maybe I'll change my mind and use it, I don't know. I do like how the theme song changes depending on what weapon you're using, and they're using a whole sort of Mega Man songs. They did also re-show that awesome Devil May Cry collaboration trailer, which you guys haven't seen. You go on the official channel and check that out. That gesture you're seeing right there, like Dew from Street Fighter, the gesture is going to be another paid DLC. Probably just something that's flashing cool, nothing game-breaking, obviously. Now, I'm not a Devil May Cry fan, so to say. I'm not that into action games, but I do like the visuals, and I love that they did announce that this is an actual armor set. It's not like a full, one piece and that's it. So if you just want Dante's hair, you can craft that and put that with your set. If you just want his cape, which I do, you can make that. That's pretty cool. They didn't give a date of when that's going to be available, so hopefully it won't be too far in the future. I won't talk about this too much because it doesn't relate to you guys, but every year in Japan they do a live tournament where they get two-man teams on a stage and they do time attack arena challenges. They're going to be doing it again this year. There's going to be 7 regionals, and they'll have the final, which is usually live streamed. That's going to be on July 15th, so I'm very much looking forward to that. And now let's jump into the spring update, which again is March 22nd. It's going to be bringing us some game tweaks and balances to all the different weapons, as well as Deviljho. So change number 1, this is for the Great Sword. It's just getting buffs, which is awesome. So they're going to be taking the normal charge slash in 2 and 3 and the strong 2 and 3, and they're going to be increasing the damage it does. The reason why I think they're doing that is they want people to be able to use these attacks and not just rely on the true charge. So I'm very happy to see it, because there's often times where you'll try to get your true charge slash off, and maybe you mistimed it, or maybe the monster moved, and you have to end it early. This now makes it much more viable to just start using those charge slashes and the strong ones, depending on how much they increase the damage. By how much, who knows? We'll find out soon enough, but I'm pretty happy to see this buff. Next was Longsword, and this looks like a lot, but really, I'll just sum it up for you. The Foresight Slash is getting a huge buff. They're going to make it easier for you to make the counter. It's going to have better hit zones. You're going to be able to aim it better, so you can make sure you can pull it off better. So that is just really good, because it was a little tricky, but it wasn't that bad. So now that they're going to make it even better, this is really going to increase the efficiency of this weapon. Apparently there was a bug for the Spirit Helmbreaker that they're fixing. I didn't encounter it personally, but it is good to see that they are fixing bugs that are reported. For Sword and Shield, and you know what, I'll just call this out right now, these slides were actually shown during the live stream, so they're taking all the major game update slides and they're translating them, which is huge. I mean, they never do this in the past, and I think it speaks volumes to how important the Western market is for them for this game, so good on Capcom for representing here with some English. Anyways, back to this Sword and Shield, they are increasing the damage of the round slash. I think a lot of people avoided that move because it didn't do a whole lot of damage, but now that, it's going to be increased, maybe that will open the door to more combos that people will want to try out. And they are also fixing it so now you can use the slinger with your weapon out against wedge beetles. Those are those little things that you sort of throw your slinger around and then you can fly up in the air. So like if you're fighting Kushada Daora and you just want to get out of there and you want to sort of jump up in the air and then try to mount it, you can do that with your weapon out now. So that's going to be a welcome addition for those of us who actually use the wedge beetles. If you're not used to them, you really should. Dual Blades is also getting a buff. They're going to make it easier for you to maintain your demon gauge because now it can be increased through the demon mode round slashes and my favorite slingshot, which is the Demon Flurry Rush, I think is the official name they have on here. So those are really welcome additions, and they also had some bug where I actually think I encountered this, where you couldn't cancel out of the demon mode when your hunter was running. It's a very minute thing, but it's, again, if it's bugging people, it's good that they're fixing it. And the excitement just does not stop there. Hammer is going to get a buff on stun values, which is very exciting. This is going to affect the charge 2. Both for normal and when you have your hammer charged up, like the power energy charge, and also that charge tier 3. So this is the uppercuts that you do when you're charging your hammer and you release it after one level charge, and it's level 2. And also that wind up and slam and charge level 3. So how much they're increasing the stun value, I don't know. But to know that the uppercut is going to be able to knock out stuff better, that is a welcome addition indeed. And the hunting horn, they're just going to make it better. They're just seriously, instead of like tweaking all the individual attacks and everything, they're just going to give it a base attack up, which is awesome. So for Hunting Horn, you're always going to be playing that self-improvement song, which makes you move faster and not bounce off. So now instead of when you encored it, it would just make it so that you don't bounce off attacks. They're adding in attack up to that as well. Now, whether this stacks with the attack up songs or not, I'm sure it does, but we'll have to test it and find out how they react. How much percentage, I don't know, but even if this was like 5%, that's awesome. A 5% base attack increase for a weapon is a very big thing if you look at the overall hunt. So Hunting Horn getting even better, hey, no complaints here. Small quality of life adjustment for the lance. So after you do a counter thrust, there will be now a period of window where you are negated from knockback. Basically, when you're really in close and you did a counter, there's usually other hunters around you, and you just countered. You want to go into a combo and do some damage. Unfortunately, other hunters can trip you and it can get very annoying, so it is very nice to see that they're going to add in that window. Still, if you manage to find that flinch-free decoration, I do recommend you throw that on. I've heard that it's very good for just getting rid of all those trips. Anyways, good quality of life change for the lance. The gun lance is also getting buffed as well. They're reducing the amount of sharpness that you lose when you shell, and they're also increasing the attack power of the stake and the wyvern's fire. One thing I note here is this shelling. It says the damage parameter is increased when sharpness is yellow or worse. I don't know if this is an accurate translation. The Japanese just says that the modification that happens to the power of your shelling when you're in yellow sharpness or lower is going to be increased. But I don't know if that means that the modifier is going to get more severe or it's going to get less severe. My guess is that it's going to get more severe because they don't want people being able to dish out heavy damage with yellow sharpness, because that should be a bad thing. Anyways, we'll find out soon enough. Them taking off the sharpness loss when you do the wyvern fire and the stake is great. Again, with the translation, it says it alleviates it, but in the Japanese, it makes it feel like they're just going to make it less, not get rid of it altogether. But either way, it's a welcome change. And just a power boost for those two finishers, hey, that's always a welcome thing. Now going on to switch axe, this looks really complicated, but really just sum it up in one thing: the zero-sum discharge attack is getting much better. That's pretty much all this is it. That is that awesome sort of new finisher attack they added. It used to be that like a lot of people are using this with earplugs in their sets because it's a huge move and you don't want to get interrupted. Well, they're now going to be adding in earplugs level 4 during the attack. So if something roars, you're not going to get interrupted. That is an awesome change that's going to free up a lot of people's sets, I think. They're also adding in a new combo. I can't wait to try this out and see how big this is. But you'll be able to go into zero sum directly from that sword jumping element discharge. So that's cool. A new combo path is always welcome. They're also going to make it so that you don't lose any sharpness. If you mount a monster, when you do the finisher, it's a big attack, and that eats at your sharpness, then people are going to be less likely to mount a monster, so they're taking out that demerit. They're flat out just making the attack more powerful, which is great. And apparently there was a bug that they're fixing as well. Now on to the controversial Charge Blade. I've been talking a lot on Twitter about this. The weapon is almost too good to be true. The impact files are just so good. Instead of actually just coming out and nerfing it, which a lot of you guys were saying don't do that, they did exactly what everybody wanted, which is they took everything else about the weapon and they made it better. There was apparently a sort of misbalance, I think, with the way that attack stacking skills affected the power of the impact files. Something like artillery is a skill that's made to do that, so that's fine, but they're going to be lessening the buffs that it gets from the attack up. Now, I use Charge Blade without any attack boost to begin with, and it's already powerful, so this is not like a big nerf or anything. I think it's just a fine adjustment. They're also taking the stun values for the Ultra, or the Super Amped Elemental Discharge, and they're going to be lowering that. But on the flip side, they're upping the stun value on all the other impact file attacks, which is great because, you know, Elemental Discharge 1 and 2, like the special attacks, those things are awesome for KOing monsters, or at least they used to be. Now they're making them more powerful, so maybe people will be less tempted to spam that Ultra and actually take advantage of the axe attacks, which are really good. And I could just kiss Capcom for this one. They're taking the Elemental file type, which is almost always inferior compared to the impact type, and they're going to just flat out increase the bonus and attack that it gets. By how much, we'll have to wait and see, but the fact that they're taking an entire ignored type and they're going to make it stronger is really going to help the weapon and really, I think, expand all the different types of weapons that you might want to use. And they're even going to make it easier for you to hit with the final Ultra Burst, Finisher Burst for the Elemental file types, because they're a little tricky, they do a lot of damage, but they're going to make that easier. And like Hunting Horn, Insect Glaive is getting a flat-out boost, straight up out of the ground. Everything's getting stronger. The power-up that you get from Red Extract, both single as a double up or triple up, is going to be increased. I don't know if that's just to be like 5% or what, but that is crazy because you're just raising the entire attack power of the weapon in general. They're going to be extending the duration of the extracts, which is great. Maybe that will sort of take the pressure off of wanting a speed bug. And there was a weird thing where when you mount a monster, you sort of lose the duration of your extract. So when you down it, you're generally having to regain those extracts. Well, now they're going to eliminate that completely. So after you down a monster, you could just go ham on its face. So the insect glaives getting better. That makes me a very happy man. Then finally, bow got some various fixes as well. The dashing shot, there was a bug in which it sort of got a double buff, apparently, with the spread and power shots. I don't know about that, but okay, if it was a bug, fine, they fixed it. They even fixed the bug with the Dragon Piercer where there was a weird way you can input it. I think this is what they're talking about, where you can shoot it in all directions, which is obviously not intended behavior, so just bug fixes, nothing really buffed or debuffed for this weapon at all. To be honest, I was hoping that they would eliminate the flinching that happens when people spam Arc Shot 1 because it's so annoying. Anyways, let's stay positive. Okay, moving on to the bow guns. Obviously, they had some changes already because they were affecting other players. So they went ahead and they already buffed the normal shots and they sort of debuffed the slicing shot a little bit. So these things are pretty balanced right now, so they're not going to be making any additional changes in this update. And finally, there are some major game updates that they're making, and I could not be more happy. The first one, they're going to make it faster loading times. Now, I play on an Xbox One X and a PlayStation 4 Pro, and the load times are really good. But I have seen the load times for the original machines for both Xbox and PlayStation, and they're pretty long. So any optimization that they've done is definitely welcome. I'm curious about how much. This is something that we got to praise Capcom for because other games really need to follow suit. They're now adding in an option where you can increase or decrease the size of subtitles in the options. People have all types of different vision, right? Some people have good eyesight, bad eyesight. Maybe they depend on the English because it's not their native language. Maybe they sit far from their TV and they can't read it. Any way you look at it, being able to adjust subtitle size is a really great change for usability that other games should be copying. And point number 3, so happy about this. You can now return to the Gathering Hub after you finish a quest, or you can even, when you disband, you can go back to the Gathering Hub. This was my biggest complaint because you go into the Gathering Hub, you socialize with other people, you go on a hunt, and then it throws you right back into Astera, and then no one goes back to the Gathering Hub because there wasn't really a need to. The load times were long. But now they're going to allow you to just go back to the Gathering Hub, so hopefully this means that the social hub and the true heart of this game is going to be back. So excited about that. And finally, there was a problem where there was a lot of jerks who would sort of attack a hunter as they were trying to carve, and it would make it so that they couldn't get the reward. Those people need to get out of the game right now, but Capcom noticed that it was becoming a slight issue for some people, so they made it so that when you're carving now, no other attacks that the other hunters can do can interrupt you from carving. So thank you, Capcom, for really looking at people's feedback and making these changes fast. And while this really isn't part of the spring update, just because of timing, I'm going to throw it in here. But from March 16th, which is actually before the actual event, they are going to be giving everybody a free ticket to change the appearance of your hunter. If you want to change the gender, you want to change their hair, you want to change the voice, anything you want except for I think the name of your hunter, you're going to be able to do that. It is an item that they're considering selling at a later point, but for the meantime, they're going to give one to everybody this Friday. So everyone can check that out and change their hunter if they want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But that's a good change that they're making. And people did notice that I think they added in this new hairstyle, which is really nice. It's very cute. So hopefully there'll be some extra surprises along the way. So that will sort of encourage people to change their appearance. Okay, I'm sorry this video is just me talking so much, but now we're going on to the live hunt they did of the Deviljho. They had a technical issue where the PS4 crashed, so they had to reboot it. Remember, these are dev environments, so they're not bug-free, and this happens quite a bit. But finally they got in there. Look at that weapon, looks so good. Here you can see the sort of summer festival costume for the handler. I think it's cute, but they did say that if you don't like it, you can actually make her change back into her standard outfit. It's so weird. But another cool thing they mentioned was the Deviljho weapons are made to be very strong in this game. They said if you use it with handicraft, they get white sharpness. So they feel that these things are going to be really good for endgame. So I'm excited to make all of them. And hopefully they have it for most of the weapons, because if they don't, we'd be upset. Fun moments here. I'm not going to show the entire hunt. Again, check out the official stream down below. But these are my favorite moments from their live demo. They go up to the Deviljho and he already had the Kulu Yaku in his mouth. For those of you who are new to Monster Hunter, Deviljho is a very classic monstery type monster who is, its body's really big and warm, and so it always needs to eat. So the thing is like starving to death. It will eat anything. It will eat Kuroyaku with the rock right there. It'll eat anything. It'll eat its own tail if you sever it. And in this game, they made it so that it grabs onto other monsters with its teeth and will use them as weapons. When it gets enraged, it sort of blows up red here. It starts doing a thing called Dragon Breath. If you get hit by that, it will remove the element on your weapon. So if you're bringing in like a thunder weapon, which is traditionally really good against this monster, you won't have any more element on your weapon unless you use a null berry to get rid of that. During the demo, they were showing off, just trying to bait him and have him do cool stuff. Here he found the Great Jagras, like he did in the trailer, and look at him just whip this thing around. He damages the Great Jagras every single time he does this, and they were mentioning that, he can pick up an Anjanath, he can do all sorts of different stuff, so I can't wait for someone to compile all the different Deviljho monsters used as tools videos. So I thought this was really neat, seeing how they sort of re-envisioned him for Monster Hunter World. One thing they did notice is that his attack power does go way up when he has a monster in its mouth, obviously. And it's going to be at pretty much Elder Dragon levels. So they said even if you're already used to taking down Elder Dragons or Tempered ones, you're going to have to be pretty careful. Definitely get ready to use Tremor Resistance, because this is a monster that does slam the ground and knock you off balance quite a bit. This is really interesting. So they put it in a pitfall. And if you notice, you can really hit that weak point of its belly, but Deviljho will still struggle and hit you, so you have to be careful. That's pretty unique. Most monsters can't do that. But Deviljho, come on, this is the monster that embodies raw attack power. And I'm so happy about this. They've added in a turf war between it and Basil. The reason why they did this is because Deviljho, after the update, will start to after you kill the Pink Rathian, it will start to invade your high rank quest the exact same way that Basil does. By completing certain conditions, whether it's like killing him a few times, you'll actually be able to unlock the optional quest for him. Look at these two go at it, man. Choke slam! Joe Cena, man, taking 3,000 damage from Basil there. Oof. And then getting all pooped because Joe is, Huff Puff goes in there strong, but then gets tired. I can't wait to see these two go at it. What the actual conditions to get the optional quest are, who knows? We'll find out soon enough. But the fact that they're bringing back Deviljho, they're bringing back his armor, they're bringing back weapons, and they're making him the exact same sort of invading type as Basil, that's going to make for some really fun hunts in high rank. And look at this image. Look at that insect glaive. It is so hot. I want that so bad. Now, some of you may be pointing out that traditionally it's called the Vangus armor in Japanese, but is always translated as the Greed armor. It says in English here, Vangus. I think this is probably just a case of them rushing to translate it for a Japanese stream. But you better believe when this thing comes out on March 22nd, this is the first armor set I'm going to make, and that insect glaive is going to be mine. I do hope they have the switch axe in here. I really do. Anyways, that was the spring update. Again, watch the official video down on the link below. There's a lot more gameplay I didn't show here. Hope you guys enjoyed my recap and sort of my thoughts and reactions. I'm tired. It's almost midnight here, but I'm super hyped. I'm not sure if that comes off in my voice or not, but I can't wait. And great quality of life changes across the board, great buffs and balancing, so good on Capcom. Man, the future is bright for this game. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that like button if you did, subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, happy hunting. Oh, and before I go, there's one other thing I wanted to mention, which was, I don't know if he was joking because he did not say, oh, I'm joking. And he seemed to really get everybody nervous in the room, but Yozo Tsujimoto said at the very end, you know what, I'm just going to tell you guys right here, next update that we have, it's going to be next month in April. I don't know if he was joking or what, but it sounded like he was pretty serious. So whether it's a small update, big update, who knows, but if it's true, then we got even more stuff to look forward to, hopefully a new monster, that would be nice, but we'll have to wait and see.